Tonight on DC News Now, 3 people killed in a plane crash in Prince George's County. Aircraft parts scattered near homes.
Frightening. It's just too close to home.
What one neighbor heard heading to bed and the rabbi who prayed over the victims' bodies told our team. Violence near DC clubs overnight. 2 people shot, another stabbed within 1 hour along the U Street corridor. What police say about the concerning series of events? Reflecting pool vandals? President Trump accusing folks of peeling paint as crews tackle an algae outbreak near the Lincoln Memorial. What one local Olympian has to say about the allegations against him.
Well, the weather was certainly welcome this weekend for Father's Day weekend, but we're turning the page and storms are in our future, at least short-term wise. We'll talk about Monday's forecast and what to expect coming up.
In the mid-year money checkup, what finance experts say you should double check before making future purchases throughout 2026. We're stretching your dollar.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Sunday evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. Right to your top story. Tragic plane crash killed 3 people overnight in Prince George's County. Authorities say a single-engine propeller plane had crashed in Bowie, just down the street from Bowie High School, into a wooded area near homes. Federal crash investigators with the NTSB have been called in. DC News Now's Haley Milon spotted a broken wing of that plane from the home of one neighbor who described hearing a boom as she went to bed. She also learned more from a rabbi there to pray over the victims.
But one woman tells me she was just getting ready to go to bed when she heard a loud boom and thought it might have been thunder rolling in or maybe 4th of July celebrations. She lives just on the other side of these woods here. She woke up in the morning and saw yellow tape all over. She saw debris from the plane. Investigators in the woods behind her house. 3 men are dead and the cause of that crash is under investigation.
It sounded like a loud thunder rumbling through. When I looked out my window, I saw something laying in the ground, but because it's dark in the back and the light goes out, you can't really get clear clarity on what it is. So I didn't think anything else of it.
In the daylight, Shantanya Clark spotting investigators combing through pieces of an airplane just steps from her Bowie townhome off of Annapolis Road. Maryland State Police reporting that a single-engine airplane crashed, killing all 3 people on board, adding that one of the victims' phones sent out an iPhone crash alert to authorities. Crews finally locating the wreckage around 4 a.m.
Obviously, everyone is very saddened.
Rabbi Eli Barron of Bowie telling DC News Now that local Jewish faith leaders requested he go pray over the victims on scene, saying that all 3 on board were young Jewish men flying from Ocean City, New Jersey, to a flight training center in Gaithersburg.
We are with them in spirit and praying for them and hoping for their consolation.
National Transportation Safety Board investigators arriving in the afternoon to collect radar data, air traffic control transmission records, and information about the crew.
I'm sorry about the 3 lives that were lost. It could have been more because it was so close to the houses.
Clark noting it could have been far worse. In Bowie, Maryland, Haley Milon, DC News Now.
A lot of unanswered questions, Haley. Thank you. It was also violent night in the district along the U Street corridor. 2 men were shot around 10 o'clock near U Street and Florida Avenue next to the 930 Club. They are expected to be all right. But less than an hour later, police responded to a stabbing at 14th and U Street around 10:50. A teenage boy was reportedly stabbed. They are also expected to be okay. We've also learned a man was found shot near the Tacoma Metro Station in D.C. right after 11 o'clock last night. He was found near Blair Road. D.C. police say the suspect drove off in a white 4-door sedan with a moonroof and was wearing a gray hoodie, jeans, and light-colored shoes at the time. And today is the last night of a special juvenile curfew in place along the U Street corridor. It's in effect from 8 until 11 tonight, and at 11, that citywide curfew is underway until 6 in the morning. All right, meteorologist Scott Sumner is here with a look at our forecast after a gorgeous weekend, really, but tomorrow could be somewhat, let's just say, dangerous in some cases, Scott.
Well, we're going to watch that and make sure that hopefully nothing does occur. But, of course, you can't stop Mother Nature. And with these temperatures soaring up into 90 degrees tomorrow, heat and humidity going up, That's just a kind of added fuel to the fire, if you will, for some storms as the front starts to move its way in from the west. The morning low temperature dropping down here in D.C. to about 69 degrees. But again, you see the stepladder. It moves pretty rapidly through the 70s and into the 80s by mid-morning and up to around 90 by the lunchtime hour. I'm going for 92 for an afternoon high tomorrow. Satellite shows already where that storm is, or those storms are associated with the actual next storm system, and it's across portions of Illinois where there have already been tornadoes been reported through the storm's prediction center, and then continuing further east in towards Indiana and over towards Ohio at this junction. Now, the clouds are going to make it in here first, so tomorrow morning, not looking at severe weather as you step outside here on your Monday, the 22nd of June. But needless to say, not much in the way of sunshine either, mainly cloudy. Temperatures in the upper 60s here, east wind at 5 miles an hour. So again, severe potential likely tomorrow. We'll be watching that here in the Weather Center. Lingering showers, less humid on Tuesday, a gorgeous Wednesday. And then more showers and storms later in the week. We'll break it down if you haven't already seen my 7-day forecast. Ben, back to you.
All right, Scott, thank you. In D.C., 3 people are in custody and 1 person is dead after a police chase ended in a crash. This happened yesterday at midday in northwest D.C. U.S. Park Police say they spotted a stolen vehicle driving on Rock Creek Parkway. They tried to pull the driver over at 5:40. That's when they say the driver started crossing the Taft Bridge on Connecticut Avenue and hit somebody on a moped. That person died on scene. This is just south of the National Zoo. Now, the driver of the stolen vehicle then reportedly hit a diplomat's vehicle with 3 people inside. 2 people in that car were taken to the hospital and are expected to be all right. U.S. Park Police say the driver and 2 others in the stolen car tried to run off, but they were arrested by D.C. police. President Trump says several people were arrested after they allegedly vandalized the Lincoln Memorial's reflecting pool, appearing to suggest they spent, quote, years in jail. Over the last week, we have seen videos of what looks like paint or sealant that's been peeled away from the floor of the pool. Following the recent paint job, President Trump ordered there to look like American flag blue. There's also been an algae outbreak at the pool that crews have been trying to get rid of. Well, 67-year-old David Hearn was reportedly arrested Friday. He is a former U.S. Olympian who competed in slalom canoe racing. The Washington Post reports the Bethesda, Maryland resident denies any wrongdoing here, saying that he grabbed the end of a piece of paint that was already peeling and he didn't break anything. The president also said work would start immediately on repairs. The National Park Service did not immediately return requests for comment from our partners at the Hill. Well, as all eyes are on the National Mall, what a gorgeous sight right there on the longest day of the year, if you will, the most amount of sunlight. Well, Freedom 250's Great American State Fair is happening later this week. Well, just today, the White House-backed Freedom 250 group shared photos of a Ferris wheel that's popped up. Still coming together. It stands 110 feet high, and visitors will be able to take a ride during 16 days of celebration starting on Thursday. Meantime, construction has sped up on the National Mall to prepare for the Great American State Fair, but questions remain about who's participating, and folks who are also on the mall have questions about what the event ultimately will represent. The National Mall is changing by the day. Black fencing stretching for blocks, construction lifts rise into the air, and crews race to build the White House-backed Great American State Fair.
It just looks like a construction zone. I knew that that event was coming, but I thought we were getting here before it.
Freedom 250 says the fair will run June 25th through July 10th, featuring exhibits, pavilions celebrating America's 250th birthday. The organization also backed the UFC fight at the White House.
Having grown up in D.C. area, I was hoping to see the mall, and right now it's completely blocked off.
Organizers say states from around the country will be represented. Several reportedly not participating, citing costs and politics. But Virginia tells me tourism officials will be on hand to highlight the Commonwealth and its history. Maryland Governor Wes Moore's office also says the state will participate, though officials did not share further details.
I think that is important for the American people
to understand how much of an impact America has made the last 250 years.
The event comes at a time when debates over how America tells its story are front and center. How do people hope the event tells that story?
All history, not just some.
Others simply excited to see what comes together.
Fireworks, yeah.
Food,
Light 'em
drinks, open bar. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Spokesperson for D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's office also said the district will participate in that fair. Here's some good news for anybody who wants to show up. You can get in for free. DC News Now, of course, is your local election headquarters, and the primary election in Maryland is on Tuesday. Races include for party nominees for governor, the 5th and 6th congressional district seats in the House of Representatives, and Montgomery County's race for county executive and county council. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close 8 o'clock Tuesday night. And in just a little over a week, some new gun laws go into effect in Virginia. This includes a ban on sales of assault weapons with very few exceptions. Magazines that can hold more than 15 rounds of bullets will not be legal to sell. Gun owners will be required to properly store their firearms, too, if they have a child in their household. Governor Abigail Spanberger says these laws, meantime, will make Virginia safer.
Firearms designed to inflict maximum casualties do not belong in our streets. They don't belong in our schools or our grocery stores or our places of worship, and they put law enforcement officers in an impossible position.
There's no advantage to any of this. This is all political posturing. This is, virtue signaling.
Several prosecutors in Virginia say they do not plan to enforce the ban on high-capacity magazines. Those new gun laws start July the 1st.